All right, folks. We've already made one half of this, and it's still a little rough, and we can obviously change some things, but in the meantime, we have to focus on making the other half while this continues to air dry. Let that air dry, and it's the same process as it was before. We'll start with a chunk of clay and get my guides out, also known as map pencils. Go ahead and flatten it out and make your slabs. Let's speed this up. Okay. Okay. Well, these slabs aren't as stiff as I want them to be, but haven't hit leather hard. It's just so hard with the humidity right now. But they're less flexible, and that's good. That's what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and start to assemble, and very similar to the last assemblage that we did in order to create this half of the cube. Go ahead and start to assemble your walls. You can assemble the same thing and then try to stick them together, but really, I think I'm just going to go one at a time and then just measure as I go. And I happen to know that this right here is already 3 by 3, which is good. And this is also 3 by 3, well, close at least. I'll have to add a little bit more over here, or when I cut a piece off. Now, this is where some math comes into play, because this is my slab, and it is about a quarter of an inch. So if I'm going to add a quarter of an inch to something that's already 3 inches, I need to detract a quarter of an inch from it. As it seems right here, this is already 2 3/4. So this side is fine, but this side right here needs to come down a little bit. It's not quite where it needs to be. I'm going to move this over, make a mark here, and then measure out to here and draw a line. That should be even because as I'm looking at this, that's about 2 3/4, and this line is about 2 3/4. Yes, it is. So I can cut that edge off. I'm going to go ahead and do the same on this side too. It's always good to measure. What's the old carpenter's adage? Measure twice, cut once. Same thing when you're dealing with clay. Since you've already seen this, I'm just going to speed this part up. Okay, there's one piece. Keep on going here. 3 inches, good. 3 inches, good. 3 inches, good. I need to add to this side. Obviously, if I add to this side, I'm going to have to take a quarter of an inch off. So I need to get to 2 3/4 right here. Here's 2 3/4 right there. Make these marks on the side too. 2 3/4. Did mark right here. 2 3/4. Oops. Okay.
Okay. Measure it again. 3 inches. 3 inches. 3 inches. 3 inches. Yeah, all right. Not bad. Now, last thing to do is to add the lid. But you know the lid is going to add an extra 1/4 inch. And what do we have to do? We have to change this. So before I destroy my cube, I'm going to start to measure. I'm going to cut off 1/4 inch from up here. Looks like I have a head start right here because that's only that far from the 1/4. And there's that. I'm going to speed this up so y'all can see this process and fast forward. Okay. Now, finishing touches, I think, happen when the clay gets to be a little bit more leather hard. Right now, it's still kind of plastic, and I can't really get sharp edges on it yet. But I mean, I can do that later on as needed. I want to just have like the final word on this and just say that's 3 inches by 3 inches. 3 inches. Careful not to squish it. 3 inches. 3 inches. I got to add more clay to that. This corner got away from me. Try to straighten it up. I need to add a little bit more clay to that corner. 3 inches. 3 inches. All right. That's it. It's not a perfect cube, but it's pretty close. If I wanted to make a perfect cube, obviously, I know how to do it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and vent it. The very important vent. And voila, the cube.